if you suffer from insomnia or just struggle to sleep, you might want to try sleep restriction. Sleep restriction is a technique used in cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia that basically aims to reduce the time that you spend awake in bed by matching the time that you are in bed with the time that you actually sleep. The reason why this is so important is that spending time awake in bed can just increase anxiety, worry, and frustration, basically activating your fight and flight system, which is just gonna make it more and more difficult to just sleep. This technique, in fact, aims to associate your bed with sleep and relaxation. To do this, the first step is to fill in a sleep diary. In this diary, you can include things like at what time you went to bed, at what time you managed to sleep, and for how long you stayed asleep. You can also use a sleep or fitness tracker that can detect things like at what time you went to sleep or at what time you woke up. Then you want to calculate your sleep efficiency, and you can do that by dividing the time that you spent asleep by the time that you spent in bed and multiply the entire number by 100. Fitness trackers usually do this as well, and if your score is bigger than 85%, then a sleep restriction might not be recommended, but you might want to consider sleep restriction if your score is below 85%. Third step is to decide on a sleeping window. To do that, you need to use the hours that you spent asleep rather than the hours that you spent in bed. So for example, if from your sleep diary or your sleep tracker it emerged that you consistently stay asleep for 5 hours, then 5 hours is going to be your sleeping window. Bear in mind that your sleeping window should never be less than 5 hours. So for example, if your sleeping window is 5 hours and you need to be awake by 6 a.m., then you can decide that your sleep window goes from 1 a.m. till 6 a.m. This window needs to be fixed every time, and you won't be allowed to go to bed before that sleeping window, even if you start to feel tired. You need to apply this sleeping window for a week and keep calculating your sleep efficiency. If your sleep efficiency is below 80%, then you need to restrict the window by 15 minutes. If your sleeping window is between 80 and 85%, then you can keep the sleep window the same. But if your sleep efficiency goes above 86%, then you can extend the window of 15 minutes. You need to repeat this weekly until your sleep efficiency is of 90% or your sleep does not feel problematic anymore.